North is trying to repeat as district champions in 17 4A, but it will be an uphill climb for the Lady Bulldogs as they're a game behind McKinney with 2 games to go in this regular season. Coach Lance Lovell is with us now. And Lance, how are you and your team holding up after a pretty stunning loss to Little Elm in your most recent outing?
It was very stunning, as you state. That game took me back a little bit, the girls as well. But the response is they're resilient. You know, they're so resilient. They come out every single game to win. And you know, that result during spring break was a matter of different circumstances taking place. But they're ready to play tonight against Prosper, and I don't have any doubt in my mind that they'll step back or step forward and resume what they've been doing throughout the season.
Before we look ahead to Prosper, the third-place team in the district at the moment, we look back at some of the highlights so far in district play, and really want to start before we get to Belicia Mendiola and everything that she has done with 22 goals this season. How about the 5 straight shutouts that you had before the loss to Little Elm? Overall, 12 shutouts in 18 games, one of them here against Anna in the first round of district play, 4-0. Defense has really become a hallmark of this team, and a lot of credit goes to your goalkeeper, sophomore Clarissa Ledesma. That was a position that wasn't all that settled when the season began, and also your defense anchored by Mary Watson and Kirsten McDaniel.
That's right. You know, I was very pleased about the goalkeeper situation. You know, Liz and Clarissa have been sharing time. Clarissa's pretty much taken over since district has started in that position, but I've been pleasantly surprised and pleased with that position this year, because that was something I was really nervous about coming in and losing the goalkeeper from last year. Really nervous about that coming in, but you know, it's all about, you mentioned Mary and Kirsten. You know, it's more than just them too. They're doing a fantastic job in the back, but it's more than just them. It's a whole team buy-in to team defending, from the forwards all the way back to the goalkeeper. And you know, it's the different defensive principles that we work on daily, and our ability to be able to keep possession of the ball really allows us to be very staunch as far as team defense goes.
You mentioned the forwards, and up front you have Belicia Mendiola. In her sophomore year, 22 goals, surpassing what she accomplished last year as a freshman. And at times these goals have come in bunches for her. She has 3 4-goal games in district play against Anna twice and also against Sherman. Overall, Lance, what can you say about the season that she's putting together?
She's a goal scorer. You know, that's something that every team, whether you're a professional team, a college team, a high school team, a club team, a rec team, you know, every team needs a goal scorer, someone that has that mentality to go to goal, you know, and she is that person. She has that ability. She not only has the ability to go to goal, but she has the mentality too. She wants the ball, and she turns and she looks at the goal. That's what she does. So you know, she has to get the ball too. So, you know, the players that are around her that I've put in place around her to be able to feed her the ball and to be able to put the ball in position for her to have that success is important as well.
Her sister Mikey is in the midfield, becoming a vital player for you, in addition to Jackie Busey, a junior who has become a player you just can't live without. She's been a rock for you there.
She has. Both Jackie and Mikey there in the center mid have been important as far as us keeping possession of the ball, as far as us being able to have that quote-unquote engine to continue to run. That they're the engine, you know, and Jackie does as you mentioned, Jackie does a wonderful job of distributing the ball and playing the ball where it needs to go and being in the position she needs to be in to make that engine run.
Hadley Tucker is really becoming the perfect complement to Belicia in the scoring department. You don't want to have to rely just on one player to finish for you. And since you moved Hadley from defense to that outside mid forward spot, she has scored 6 goals. You made that move early in district play. What went into that decision to switch positions for Hadley Tucker?
Well, I knew that Hadley has the ability to distribute. She has the ability to shoot. She has the ability to dribble with speed. She's a very speedy player. And early on, I needed her in the back until we could figure out things in the defensive role. And then once we got things figured out, I realized, hey, we need somebody like that in the attacking positions as well to take a little bit of pressure away from Belicia. And so I've put her at the attacking outside mid position. I put her at forward as well, and she's done very nicely at both positions. And not only has she scored those 6 goals that you mentioned, but the assists too. The assists are there, and she's really creating opportunities that we needed from her. And that's what I was thinking about making when I was making that move.
Right now, your team in second place in the district. McKinney is in the driver's seat. You split with the Lionettes here in the regular season. The second meeting, a 1-0 victory for your team.
Right.
And that had to be such a special night. The last time that you'll see each other as district opponents for at least the next 2 years.
Correct.
And also the first time that you had beaten McKinney in regulation in 6 years.
Correct. Yeah, the last time that McKinney North beat McKinney in a regular season or a district season game was in 2006 when our school won state that year. Ever since then, we've been with McKinney in district ever since then, and it's been either a loss or a shootout loss or a shootout win. We've enjoyed those shootout wins, but it's not an outright win. And we finally got that outright win this second round in district this year. And talk about excitement. I mean, that was huge for us because McKinney, McKinney they're a rival, and that's something that the girls look towards every single year is playing McKinney.
One amazing thing about this team, Lance, it has only one senior, and you usually look to seniors for leadership.
Right.
But you don't have that. You have that from some of your underclassmen, especially your junior class. Mm-hmm. Who has really stepped forward as a voice for this team?
Well, I'm going to tell you, the 2 captains that I started out with this year were unanimously chosen by the team, with Mikey Mendiola and Mary Watson. They were 2 players that the girls wanted to lead them. And they just happen to be juniors. Yes, we do have a senior on the team, and Holly provides that leadership type of role, being the age that she is, just not at the captain position. And then later on in the year, we added Jackie Busey as a captain as well because of her ability to step up and talk to the girls not only on the field but off the field, and what she's doing on and off the field deserved the responsibility that she's taken on as being a captain.
Lance, we say that leadership could have been an issue for this team. It's not. Depth could have been an issue for this team. You have only 15 players on your roster, and yet you have managed that situation. You've had to call up a few JV players time and time again. Right. What's the biggest challenge in handling a roster that's so small?
Well, having a roster that's small sometimes is more difficult than having a large roster. With a large roster, you have more numbers, and then you have more, off the field issues, and but you have the ability to pull from your bench to step in on the field when something, takes place that you need that. With a roster of 15, unfortunately, Ted, we don't have that ability. We have 15 players, 16 on the roster. 1 got hurt and is finished for the season. But 15 players, and that leaves us with 4 subs. And as far as managing a game, we've got to make sure that they're fit, so that the players that are on the field can stay on the field. make sure that they're strong and fit so that they keep from getting injured. But that's probably one of the most difficult things about handling a small roster is dealing with injuries and illnesses and absences. If you have a large roster, you don't have to worry too much about that stuff.
Lance, we'll talk with McKinney head coach Alex Panterato here coming up shortly. He celebrated his 200th career win
Correct.
Recently.
Congratulations to him.
Absolutely. You just celebrated your 60th career win here in your 6th year
Yes.
at North. Can you imagine winning 200 games?
It's going to be a long time. You know, if you look at it, you know, the way that I started here at North, it was a rough start. You know, with Boyd opening up and taking a lot of players from our school in our sport. It was a very difficult start, but we've gained some momentum over time and gotten received the players in over that time period, and we've been successful as of late to be able to increase that winning percentage a little bit. But it's fun, you know. It's 60 is not a big milestone like 200 is, but you know, I like to I look at it and say, okay, 6 years, 60 wins, that's an average of 10 a year. That's pretty good. You know, I like that. So it tells me that I feel like I'm doing a pretty decent job with the team and with the girls, and we've been successful with the players that we have.
Hey, Alex won 200 games here in his 18th season, a similar average, a little more than 10 a year, but you're certainly on that track, especially with the recent success of this program.
Sure.
You know, you're going back to the playoffs, just like last year when you won a district title, and you're holding out hope for, at the very least, a co-district championship, a district co-championship. It'll take some help to get that, in addition to a couple of victories for your team. You have Prosper tonight here Tuesday, Denison to finish the regular season on Friday. What do you most want to see this week, final tune-ups for the playoffs?
Well, we need to get some consistency going back into the playoffs. You know, we won 7 straight in district, and that's consistency, you know, as far as being on the winning side of the games. But you know, losing to Little Elm, we need to get back on that consistency track. With the game tonight against Prosper and the game against Denison, that's going to be our senior night on Friday. But I'd like to see some consistency going as far as how we're moving the ball and how we're attacking and how we're defending, the whole concept as well.
Lance, best of luck going forward. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Ted.
Lance Lovell, head coach of McKinney North, a team that is still chasing a district championship. And that is our show for today. Next week, we shift to boys soccer. We'll feature Boyd and North after talking to McKinney's Alan Pocock this week. Remember, if it's McKinney ISD Athletics, it's on Sports Talk. I'm Ted Emrich. See you next time.